Hey, hey guys. Um, Today I'm gonna be telling the story of how I tried to kill myself one time. Um, it wasn't the first time, but it was probably the most closest. Um, I would say. So before I did it or tried to, series of events um that kind of triggered it and made me like really sad. A lot of things like made me upset. Um, but one of the main things was this particular week. I've joked around with it um, with my friends and like just people, um, but it may be funny on the outside, but it really impacted me. Because I kind of felt like worthless and just useless and just like a big idiot. And I just feel like I didn't belong. So, what happened was, I can't remember what day it was, but I was in 12th grade. It's a year ago. Well, beginning of 12th grade, so it's like 2023 of like September. And I broke my computer from sitting. And that really like just put me in a shitty mood. I'm like, damn. And then the next day, I lost my AirPod case. I was trying to call. I lost it at school. I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it. Then the next day, I lost my phone when I was getting dropped off at school, like in the school parking lot. And then I went to the office and I said, hey, I lost my phone. So then they give me, okay, what class you in? Said I was in math, room, I don't know, 113, let's just say, I don't know. 5 to 10 minutes left of the period. The class gets a call and the teacher picks up. It's for me, they found my phone, so I go down after the period to get my phone. Phone is completely cracked, tire marks everywhere. And I'm like, oh my god. And then the next day, I find out my grandma got like in a gang altercation and she broke so many bones. And then while this was going on, I was like, it wasn't like really a thing, but like I was talking to someone. But then the people around me were like calling me like really, like at first like I knew they were joking, but then my issue is, guys, is like I overthink a lot, so like I thought maybe they were just joking around, but at a certain extent I got to the point that maybe they actually meant it. But what I did with that, I started to drink. It wasn't the best way of coping with stuff. And I remember I was just like in this shit, like just, it felt really terrible about myself. Even before then, like this week, I'd always think of like committing and doing all that. But this really kind of, there's a point, and if you're watching this video, you probably clicked it because you probably feel the same way. Or you can relate to it, but you probably know, like, there's a point where you always think about it, but you don't do something about it. Like, you don't, like, you think about committing, but do you actually have the action and taking that step forward of actually proceeding to try to commit? That's a whole different feeling than just thinking about it. I always thought about it, but I've never actually did something. And I did. I was drinking. I don't know. I've always had a problem. I started when I was 14. It was off and on. I stopped for like a year and a half, and then a little bit, but it wasn't like beer. It was like hard, like Bacardi, whiskey, vodka. But I remember it was one night. I remember the exact date. August 21st. Not August 21st. October 21st. 2023. No one was home. It's just me. I was gonna be home alone for like till 6 to midnight. And my plan was to drink and die from too much alcohol, like I got alcohol poisoning. Because I heard like if you drink too much, you can, I don't know, have your heart stop or anything like that. And it was October 21st, 2023. I had I don't even know, I think I had like 20 shots of alcohol. It was insane, but it wasn't like, you know, in a row. It was spread out for like a couple hours, but I think I had like 3, 4 shots every hour or something. Like every 15 minutes. I wasn't in the greatest headspace. I didn't know what to do, because A, I didn't feel worth like living. B, felt like everyone was around me didn't like me. They were just pretending to like me. And C, I don't know, there's no C. I just wanted to give up. But then I remember I was talking to someone at that time, but it wasn't like romantically. He was just talking. And she was very worried about me. Um, cause she knew. And it's weird. She knew, like, I wasn't doing the greatest or anything. And she was busy with doing something else. I don't know, I can't remember, I think she was with family or something, but then she was really worried about me. But I didn't really care anymore. I wanted to give up. So I kept on drinking. And I think it was to the point where I was at like maybe 15, 18 shots in. And by the way, this wasn't all hard. I would probably say like half of it was hard, like 40%. And then maybe I did water down a couple of them, like 7, 8 of them. I did water down, so it wasn't like full, but it's besides the point. But she couldn't text me or call me because she was at this family thing, so she got this other girl to text me. I had her on Snap before, and she called me, and I could barely pick up my phone. Like, I could barely use my phone at this point. I was in my basement, and this girl calls me. I'm like, just like, so I pick it up, and I'm slurring my words like crazy, like like drunk, talking drunk. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, hello? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, so-and-so told me to call you. And I'm like, why? And she's like, oh, she's really worried about you. And she wants to make sure you're okay. And like, you've been drinking a lot. Like, are you okay? And I lied to her. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Even though my whole goal for that night was to end it. She didn't know that. Well, the thing about me is when I get like, drinky, I just tell the truth. I said to her, like, yeah, that was my goal. Because I didn't care. I didn't care anymore. Like, my whole goal was just to die. So then, we were talking a bit. She was at a hockey game for a brother. And she was talking a bit, and she's like, okay, I gotta go. And I'm still like shit-faced, like completely drunk. I'm like, okay. This was like 10 o'clock. 2 hours go by. I haven't had anything. And I'm about to pour my last 2 shots. This was like 11, no, not 11:30. Maybe like 12. As I'm pouring them, I get a call. Same girl. Hey, hey Alex, I just want to make sure that you're okay, how you doing? And as she's saying that, she can see me, and she's like freaking out. So then we stay on the call till like 1:30, and I'm crying, like I'm just crying, tell her what I wanted, like I was so close and I really wanted to ended that night. And she was telling me, like, why do you want to do that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have nobody. I can't really express my feelings to no one, because even when I try to express my feelings to people, they're like, okay, and then they either just like say like, oh, you'll be fine. I didn't have a girlfriend. I really wanted to have a girlfriend, and I'm gonna get back to that, because I'm still shocked to this day, what I'm about to tell you. Secondly, I felt like a failure. Like, I did. And that's one of the worst feelings to feel. Anyway, so we're on the phone till like 1:30. We're talking, and I'm just telling her like how I mean, give up. And she's like, "Look, Alex, you seem like a really sweet guy, and you really need, like, you got a lot to live for, and you got a long ways ahead. You know, you'll meet someone, and it'll be good." And frequently throughout the year, girl checked me up. The same girl checked me up, and she was like, "Oh, how you doing? You know, so and so hasn't seen you in school in a while. Just making sure that you're okay." Because she went to a different school. Turns out, the night I tried to kill myself, October 21st, 2023, exactly 1 year later, October 21st, 2024, I asked that girl that helped me that night to be my girlfriend. And she said yes. So, what I'm trying to say, guys, I still feel and still have those thoughts, but not as much. But what I'm trying to say is, with every tunnel that's dark, there's always going to be a light at the end. I thought I was going to hit rock bottom that night. I really did. I really did. I thought I hit rock bottom. I thought I would never recover and never come back. But 1 year later, exactly, I was so happy. Like, it still trips me out to this day, because exactly a year ago, she was helping me save my life. Then a year later, she was helping me, or not helping me, she was just, we were together, and we're still together today. So, it's just something you guys gotta remember. It always gets better. You know, you can't just not think of anything anymore. That's impossible. You can't just be like, oh, I want to stop thinking about it. You can, but you are gonna think about it again. You can't just completely never think about it for the rest of your life. But what you can do is just sit back and relax and, like, listen. I might feel like shit, like right now, in the next month or year, 2 years or whatever. But with every bad and every pain you feel, there's always going to be good at the end. And that's one of the reasons I'm still living today. It did, in 2023, when I tried to do it, commit, did I want a girlfriend so bad? Of course I did. But I learned that just because you have someone doesn't mean it solves all your problems. You gotta remember that, guys. So if you think, oh, I'm sad, I just need to get a girlfriend. No. You need to remember that everything always happens for a reason. You may not like it, but it does. Everything happens for a reason. So if I have a piece of advice for you guys who are struggling, every day is a new day. You wake up and you're presented by the greatest gift of being able to be alive. Every day you choose before you go out of bed, either am I gonna have a good day or a bad day? And did I earn today? You might not earn today. You know, you might have not given your full potential. You know, if you're really into working out. Well, I don't know, I don't work out, but I didn't hit my match, or I didn't hit the proper form, or I didn't hit the bench right. That's okay. Everyone has imperfect days, but you always gotta remember each day is a new day, and each day is a new you. So, do with that. That's my story of how I tried to kill myself and how it taught me a very, very